Keys.
$5 on Skippy in the fourth race.
Let's call the meeting back to order again
Sorry.
after a 5-minute break.
Sorry, Chair.
Yeah, no worries. So, the presentation regarding catchment consultation.
Thank you. So I'll give you a little background, and I'm again not going to go through this line by line. I'll give you some verbalization because it's more of a visual. The end result here, I'm going to give you an idea of where we're going with this. Staff is going to recommend that we go into consultation. As you're all aware, consultation means that there could be adjustments and et cetera. The board is not making the decision tonight. They're just making you're just making the decision and recommendation for us to move forward with the conversation. We will then go out to the public to get input and then come back to you in a 30-day period, and we'll have a more robust conversation. So, this is about catchments around central Nanaimo, in specifically elementary. When we completed our projections, when we came back at Christmas from all the schools, a bubble it started to occur to us. The start of my analysis was Park Avenue went up significantly last year. We added a portable to it last year, and it went up another 35 students from last year to this year, and we're already looking at possibility of adding 2 portables. So I went out for a drive, and I went down to Park Avenue and explored some of the areas that I had, including up the mountain and down the mountain, and there's an incredible amount of growth occurring there, as we're all aware. And it's not going to stop, and they are family homes. They're $350,000 homes per se, and they're 3 to 4 bedrooms, and they are families are moving in, and we're already seeing that data. So with that premise, I began to look at, is there something we can do in advance to begin to look at also the Georgia Avenue Fairview issue of lower capacity. And then as it grew, my exploration broadened. And so it ended up all the way up into some areas that we're going to talk about first. But I just want to go on the beginning of this descriptor and this action sheet. You will see the Park Avenue numbers growing exponentially all the way out to 2029. We are 2016 at 365. So these numbers, our projected numbers, are very, very similar to the numbers that we're getting out of Beauregard. And you'll see that there's an additional 100 students coming. And that doesn't even factor into any additional growth. If you've driven out there, many of the lots are being sold, older homes are being sold, the 5-acre lots, and they're all being labeled subdividable. So they're going to be replaced with more than one house. So the next sheet, if you follow the next sheet on number 57 as I go through this will begin to make sense. The next sheet speaks to the back of it as well, is what we will go to consult with around these schools. But let me give you the overview, and we'll see where we end up with the information here, okay? So, to begin with, we looked at Fairview, and I see most of you looking at here. So, these numbers also correlate to the numbers on the back here of this piece here. And the important part of this back sheet on page 58 is we also have done the distances and mileages of the changes, so that it's going to tell you the school that we're suggesting that we change the catchment and the farthest distance of the additional catchment area that we add in. So that's going to give you the distance that those students are. And I'm saying right now that all these shifts and changes are within the walk limits of the current system. Okay, not looking at the new transportation system. So the first part was we know that Pleasant Valley and Brecken, when we took Court Away English out of the system, we began to have a problem. Brecken was filling quickly, and it has no room for portables. And Forest Park has room for portables, and it was So, but they are going to continue that, and with the idea of trying to fill Fairview, we began to say, well, what if we began to make a change here? So number one and number two were the old Quarterway, catchment, and what we are suggesting is we pull from Brecken and Forest Park, and there's approximately 37 students, I believe it is, don't mark my words, they're down on there, moving in this direction to Fairview. Not significant alone, but it's beginning to drop, and it gives us a little more flexibility, not a great deal, but it spreads students out again. And this area here is as close to Fairview as it is to Forest Park. This, not so much here, but still, you can see that they're very, very similar. So it's not a significant piece, and the walk routes and et cetera are very, very similar in that. So we're suggesting that these two, and we consult with these two areas, would be to Fairview. Now, all of these changes would be for, we would begin 2017. Parents and families would have the option, if they're already in schools, of remaining in their schools with their families and let it grandfather out. It would only really be affecting new parents moving into those zones, and over time, over a 7-year period of time, the majority of students would have finished moving in, et cetera. So you're not dislodging anybody at this time. So those are those two. Number three is, this is a Mountain View corridor, and if there's a historical piece here, is that this is the Island Highway. And when the Island Highway came in, this was part of Mountain View at that time, and we were busing, we bused students from there up to Mountain View. They're actually closer to Fairview, and we now have this highway in the middle of it. It makes sense that this group of students here, which is about 25 students, moves to Fairview. Now you're seeing approximately 25 students there, approximately 20 students here, 45 students coming to Fairview. That's 2 more divisions at Fairview, which is, has the capacity to look at that. So this is the north end, and when it gets complicated is we also tried to we had to make some adjustments that we didn't want to take Georgia Avenue students and move them into Fairview, because you're now taking them from John Barsby and putting them into NDSS. Okay, so we had to be cognizant of that as well. So those are the changes at the north end we're suggesting. We think it's reasonable. Some slight adjustments to alleviate some of the tension. It's not going to solve the whole problem, but it's a start, and it's starting to fill Fairview as well. So those are the first one. This one is a bus route right now. Where we end up with this as a decision by the board or not, whether or not that still is or not, that'll be up to the board. But the potential of eliminating if this is now part of Fairview, this is all well within the walk limits for students to walk to Fairview or not. But that'll be a decision to be made at a later date. That's not what the discussion is here today. Okay, so Gail, can we go to the next map? Okay. So now we're at Park Avenue. So if you would slide the map this way, a bit for me, Dale, this way? Yeah, I just want to get to this end. Okay, so here's the south end. Park Avenue is the highway. If you've recently gone up the Navajo Lakes and then come back through Harewood Mines Road, this area all up in here is building now. Okay. This area here is that new development. And these areas that are blank here have houses in them. And they're row houses. They're all the houses that we've spoken about. So Chase River's over here. Now Chase River, depending on, by default, those students will be slowly filtering over to Cedar. So Chase River will begin to have some room. Okay, we're hoping. And so if we could alleviate some of the pressures here at Park Avenue, that would also give us a 5 to 10 year buffer to really look at some of the issues. it's gonna take us 10 to 15 years to ever put a new building in here based on population, okay? So, I would say, earliest, okay? So we need to try to alleviate it as much as we can. That was the notion we went on. So, this pink here is the boundary for Park Avenue. Georgia Avenue goes all the way and circles Park Avenue up into there. This is all Georgia Avenue above Park Avenue, okay? So what we're suggesting to start with is let's take a look at, this is Bruce, is that right?
Yep.
Coming across? Let's take a look if we took Bruce and made that our line, okay, our boundary line, Park Avenue sitting over here, and we take that and move it into Georgia, okay? Now, and that made, to us, that started to make some sense. They still go to John Barsby, we're not in the Fairview zone, and we can shift 50 to 60 students into that zone Georgia has room for, okay? So, that goes there. Park, we expand that there. Park Avenue comes here, and we said, okay, we have room for Bayview at Bayview. It is a place where we have concern because we want to try and get a critical mass there for our instruction. So let's take advantage and move what was some Park Avenue and Georgia and move them to Bayview. Okay? Goes a little bit over capacity, but there's no portables at Bayview. There's one portable at Bayview. We could have a portable pod there upon growth. Remember, this is a 7-year process because it's going to take time for those fees to move. And we can push those students down there. We talked about this area right here, whether or not it should go to Fairview or not, but you know, we finally decided that let's not play with the Barsby numbers at this point in time. We've got, by moving that there, these over here, it's influenced the effect on the map enough where we feel that we can lessen the issues that we have in the central core area. You let that run for 4 or 5 years and see what the numbers are. The numbers on this piece here, page 57, are the factual numbers. They are high. So if it says that 25 students are moving from Park Avenue to Bayview, then that means that there are 25 students in that area, maybe area number 5, and I don't mark my numbers here, but area number 5, that live in that area. They may not all go to Bayview eventually, but that is the maximum number of students today that live in that area that would be there. So we based all these numbers high, so it does not take into consideration the influence factor that some students will stay, some students will move, all those types of things. So if all the students chose to go to wherever we send them to, these are the numbers on this page. So the recommendation to the board and staff is we enter into consultation around these pieces. It would allow, if we made the decision within at the end of 30 days, parents and communities would be notified. Well, they're going to be notified in the consultation. They'd be notified a year and a half in advance, and they can make decisions even this year if they want to shift their students. And then September 2017, the catchment area rule would apply. If they have students in the schools, they could stay. If not, they would be moved to their local schools.
I have 2 questions. One is how are we going to gather the input? What's it going to look like, that consultation process?
We talked about that. We thought we would use PAC. We would send notices out to each school, and we would also identify the families that were involved and ensure that there was communication to them directly. So we would either send letters or ensure that there was some type of communication around that.
And the second question I had is, I'm just a little confused about the the students who are currently going to school X but are gonna be proposed to go to school Y, can they stay there forever, or is it that they can stay there for 1 year and then after
No,
1
they
year?
can stay there forever.
They can continue through
Because
the
that's
grandfather?
their grandfather.
Okay, thank you. I thought that's what you said, but I need to clarify. Okay, that's the most important part of my questions.
When I look at that and I go, those are usually areas that have been well established. And most people, I don't know how many people move out of those areas that are transient. In the sense of families moving in and out. Because I can go back to my old neighborhood and there were only a couple of kids running around. When I grew up in there, every household, they're all going to school. There's probably 30 kids off the street, and there might be 5 now. Because most of the people lived there, never moved away, right? The kids grew up, they never sold, they stayed there. So sometimes when you make those changes, when the boundaries are, how do we know the replacement of the home stuff? If they're old existing homes, there may not be any kids moving in after grade 7 again. Because parents are moving out. New growth, I can see shifting the boundaries of new growth being the potential startups and stuff, but, so I just asked the question, I mean, it makes sense to try to gear students there, but.
Yeah, I guess, well, it goes to the piece around the larger the area, the more students we're going to attract. I found some, you'll find this one interesting. Look at Park Avenue's old boundary, right? It's following the railway track. And so they didn't want the kids to walk across the railway track. And Park Avenue, the distance from Park Avenue to Bayview is, well, I did it in my time, in 7 miles an hour. Okay, so it's 1.2 kilometers, 1.3 kilometers, less than a mile from there to there. This is 200 feet, almost 300 feet. You're like this, you throw a rock and hit the school. So I get what you say, the changing demographics and consider, but I think you have to just kind of look at if we increase the area, we're going to increase the students, and if the big piece is decrease the Parksville, Park Avenue take a shot at it, see what happens.
Trustee Graham?
Yeah. I'm just wondering about the grandfathering means that children or families with children in those current schools may not be affected, choose not.
Right.
But so it might be really important to find and consult with parents of younger children, preschool children, and through advertising and child care facilities, child development center, and so forth. Then you get those people who wouldn't have the option if the board agreed to change that, because there's no room in the school that they thought they were able to do. They have to go through.
I think maybe something reasonable for us to do would be sponsors. We could definitely do something there and get their input. Going lower than that makes it difficult to access. But there would be no different than any other school that you're living in Captain. Although they moved there, did they move there to a Park Avenue or to a Bayview? And there may be, you're right, there may be some concerns, but they still could apply for a Captain. We're trying to create room for that opportunity.
Charlene?
Thank you. Through the chair, I wondered, Superintendent, if we would also be using a survey of some type online to reach parents as well as a letter.
We hadn't talked about a survey, but we talked about a Dropbox online that they could email us once they get their letters so that they can respond. And that information would be brought back to the board.
I think that would be an important way for people to.
Yeah, in the letters, we would be communicating with the specific families and schools, they would have that access to that information.
The question with respect to busing, you mentioned one part that makes sort of sense, because we're busing across the highway and we could eliminate that. Are there any other busing concerns or issues in this area? So they're all walking to their respective schools now, and then they would continue to be as long as we don't change the policy.
And crossing the 80.
Yeah.
We don't have a real.
Highway.
Yeah. Trustee Higgins?
So I'll just say that I'm in support of window consultation. I think it's important to keep the schools, equally full. I have a question about the numbers. And it's not necessarily related to report, but I'm gonna ask it now, and you can answer it later if people wanna just leave, but the numbers that you show in here, in your catchment area study, are different. Sometimes by 50 or 60 students than the numbers that we used during consultation, just a couple of months ago.
Good question.
And I find it like frustrating that we use Berger so much and yet it is consistently so inaccurate. So,
There's a simple explanation.
okay, good, good.
We made an active choice, and I think we got the board and said to the board, when we started the budget conversations 2 years ago, we made sure that we used the same numbers all the way through, because we didn't want to get into comparing apples and oranges around the budget process and then moving, because it was all seamless, moving straight into the facilities plan, et cetera. So the numbers you're seeing now are the new updated numbers, and probably had shifts and changes of almost 18 months. These are now the most recent Berger numbers for our system, and that's why they also jumped out at us when we wanted to take a look at this whole area of the projections.
I just want to ask a follow-up question, which is off topic, so you can tell me to step it for another time. Are the numbers that we used just in the last consultation for the direct schools that we were consulting on, were they the most up-to-date numbers?
The school closures?
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
Trustee Grant?
I move the staff review.
Trustee Higginson, second.
We'll have another package.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our staff will go to
Yeah, so
the
do it.
consultation, we're gonna act as a staff review.
Would anybody like to speak against the motion?
I wanted to say something.
Would you like to?
I'm not speaking against it. No, I appreciate, I think it's being proactive in our district, to see if we have an issue that needs to be dealt with, and we try to sort of before we kind of explode. I'm gonna ask, first of all, in terms of the consultation around, Mountain View, Fairview, that's a bit of a situation, because that's the only one that we're talking. In terms of the consultation, I'm not sure how you're gonna phrase that, because there may be a decision, by the board as we look at the busing situation, whether or not we would choose the busing.
So when we communicate to the community, for that particular number 2 area, by default, we would say it's a blessing. And they can respond to that consultation, how they respond to that. And then at that point in time, at a later date, if the board choose to do it, and they want to look at transportation, something like that. I think we pose the question to them clearly, right? We're not solving our issues and problems around catchment area by suggesting more busing. I think, from where we sit, those are mistakes that we may have done in the past that got us into a lot of grandfathering busing and expectations of it. It's within the walk limits. There's safe walk limits. You walk straight down past Buttercup, right down there, there's actually trails that sit around there, and once you hit Mesa Side, it's a lot can happen out.
All those in favor?
One further point, so,
I'm gonna cut it off because this is a conversation we can have, and we're gonna have more later, but just for the sake of expediency, let's move forward. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried unanimously.
Thank you.
The next items are for information, and the first is the Next Generation Network.
yes, we talked about it when we did the event there, and, which is very much at the convention, so, there's a calendar that's on there. February 23rd.
Shirley?
Thank you. Through the chair, I want to be very respectful here, but express my frustration. Last year, we expressed that we were concerned that some of these meetings were always planned when our DPAC meetings were. And so I'm concerned about the timing of the meetings for both Thursday, March 31st and Thursday, April 28th, because it's happened again.
I'm sorry, 31st and when?
The 31st of March
Right.
and the 28th of April.
Okay.
So those are both dates that we meet collectively as a membership.
Sure.
Sure. Who we moved it, I mean, Tuesday or Thursday?
We had that issue when Tuesdays was a problem with MBTA last year, and wasn't there an issue?
Yeah, Rob?
The issue's 28, because it's our convention. And last time I was flying back and forth, because you plan both the meetings on the days that our convention flies, and it's the budget drafts. So I'm in the plane, out the plane, in the plane, out the plane. This time it's in Victoria, so I was driving in, driving out. So I do have a problem with the 28th also.
We didn't, I mean, it's actually this year.
What about
Thursday.
Tuesday that night, of that week on the 28th, go to Tuesday the 26th.
26, I have no problem with that.
Tuesday the 26th, we'll check our calendars and confirm. So April the 26th,
Are these evening meetings or?
Yes.
They're evening, so
March
I have a conflict on Tuesday evenings.
You're the business chair.
He's loving man.
do we have an extra Wednesday in April that's a meeting? What Wednesday is that, Kelsey?
It would be the
20th.
20th?
The meeting on the 21st, we could change that to the 20th instead.
Yeah.
And is there a Thursday?
But no one had conflict on that time though.
Who had conflict?
No one had the conflict for that.
The April 28th is between both of us.
Yeah.
March
No, I'm suggesting we move the 28th to the Wednesday in April, the 20th, and, sorry,
Is that
the
no-
26th,
No board meeting day?
yeah.
We already have a schedule, the meeting scheduled for the 21st.
That's Thursday.
So you want
Two nights in a row?
2 nights in a row?
Well, if people are okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop it all done in one night.
So 26th.
I'm not staying that late.
This isn't like a party.
April the 20th. We still need one more day for March 31st, I believe.
We just established it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're staff for one.
So we need to, is there one in, there won't be one in March because we've got some break.
No.
Spring break.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Oh, we got it down to one.
See, we work out
Maybe we just won't meet.
there.
Do we need to consult? We can just do it.
I don't know.
Trustee Dorsey?
Could we not simply do it on the Wednesday and have a shorter board meeting with a minimal agenda and then a special business meeting or vice versa or something like that?
I'm
I
gone
mean, I
on
would
Wednesday.
think, okay,
I'm just saying it's a bad week for me. Last time I was going.
I was just,
March the 31st is a bad week or?
No, the April.
So we, but if we went to Wednesday, March the 30th,
Oh, yeah, that's
on a
fine.
double meeting?
yeah, I mean, I think double meetings make more sense than trying to do Thursdays.
You're the one that's gonna put it together.
Well, tonight we've had one meeting with her, it's not.
I promise not to have a board meeting is
The
short.
board meetings are generally short, but why don't you think about that as the person who has to put this all together and deal with people when they.
I have no
didn't
problem
enough
with that.
time, and come back to us with
We'll
a.
tentatively look at that.
We've got 2 months.
The education meetings can be short too, so.
Sometimes, not always.
We can piggyback on those.
Other than that, any other, items, please email Graham directly.
Are there any questions?
30th is also the at 4.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Are there any questions, sir?
Move to adjourn.
Move adjourned, second.
Any questions?
Trustee Higgins. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting?